Today, I will walk you through how I conducted provenance research on a South Asian object that's in the Freer Gallery of Art, Smithsonian's National Museum of Asian Art. Hopefully, this will give some insight in the ways we can trace the ownership history, but also highlight a few challenges of working in this area. I would like to remind you that each object is unique. Therefore, one must adjust the research approach depending on the circumstances surrounding the artwork. However, there are some common avenues of research one can pursue, which I hope to illustrate here. You're looking at a sacred Buddhist sculpture made of gilt copper from 14th century modern-day Nepal. It's 8 inches tall, making it easily portable. The portable nature of this piece makes it difficult to ascertain its provenience. As a researcher, I want to uncover the full history, all the steps this object traveled, from its making to its possible find spot, to arrive to where it is now in the museum. But the frustrating job of a researcher is that this goal is often elusive. The other challenge with sculpture such as this is the issue of multiplicity. Stylistically, there could be many sculptures produced from the same region and period. Moreover, names of the artists are usually not recorded. For an object that is already accessioned in the museum's collection, I start by reading the information that is already recorded in the internal database. These are often considered tombstone information, such as the title, dimensions, medium, geography, date, artist, how did the object arrive at the museum, and when. Just a note on title. Much of South Asian art, particularly sacred art, do not have titles. Titles are given by collectors, galleries, and museums. Thus, these are often fluid and can cause pitfalls for the researcher. I also look for any conservation reports to find out if a piece was damaged, repaired, or has any identifying marks. Sometimes there are seals and stickers from previous owners. Aside from these, another significant aspect which can help identify an object are inscriptions. In fact, this sculpture has 2 inscriptions. The Sanskrit inscription etched into the copper states the gift of Dipamala. Dipamala was the wife of the ruler Prithvimala, who reigned in western Nepal and Tibet in the 14th century. So right here, we can tell that this was donated by either the queen herself or someone close to her circle. The accession file includes documentation on the collector or dealer from whom the museum acquired an artwork. There are often correspondences between the previous owner and the museum. Invoice in the accession file tells us that the Freer Gallery purchased this piece in 1986 from Peter Marks Works of Art, a gallery that was located in New York City. Next, I look to see if the sculpture was published. This could be scholarly publications, exhibitions, or auction catalogs. It could be even newspaper or magazine articles. It turns out that this piece was published in a 1969 book, which listed it as belonging to the Brooklyn Museum of Art. After contacting the Brooklyn Museum, I learned that the piece came to them in 1967. But there were some caveats. They had competing sets of notice of arrivals within the span of a few days from the Doris Wiener Gallery and Walter Randall, dealers who operated in New York City. The paperwork also showed that while the object was still physically located at the Brooklyn Museum of Art, the sculpture was purchased by Mr. and Mrs. Paul Mannheim in 1968. In 1986, per Mannheim, the object was released to Peter Marks Works of Art in New York City. It's still unclear whether the sculpture came to the Brooklyn Museum of Art from the Doris Wiener Gallery or Walter Randall. Both Wiener and Randall died before research was done on this object, and neither have existing archives as far as I'm aware. I've gone through Wiener's exhibition publications and old art journals, but could not find this object among the ones listed. Randall was an art dealer of pre-Columbian and African antiquities. What's not clear is whether he also bought and sold South Asian artworks. Therefore, at this moment, it's still possible that it was either the Doris Wiener Gallery or Walter Randall who acquired the sculpture and loaned it to the Brooklyn. As of now, I've been unable to trace the object's provenance earlier than 1967. That being said, provenance research is ongoing. New information, resources, and archives could open up at any moment and enrich our knowledge or upend what we thought we know about a certain object or dealer.